Okay, guys, we are going to make this sign today. Home is where Mom is with the felt flowers. Now for these are 12-inch boards, and I think they're 1/4 inch thick. I buy these at Lowe's in 24-inch boards, and then I just cut them in half for this. And I have already sanded and stained the one that we're going to be using. The stain that I used on this one is called English Chestnut, and it is by Minwax. That's one of my favorite colors. I've already cut the stencil, so we are going to peel that onto the transfer tape. Let's see. Of course, I can't get it off. There we go. Okay. So we're going to peel the backing like this. I like to do it upside down. So all the little pieces, like the insides of the O and the E, just so they stay on the transfer tape. Then I kind of just eyeball it. Where is the best place to place it? Kind of like the same amount of space on the left and the right, and in the center as best as I can. Okay, so I'll put it down, and I like to secure it down just with my nail. You can use the Cricut, I'm not even sure what this is called, the little spatula thing, if you don't want to use your nails. Okay, and then we're going to peel it back, and I kind of peel this like the same way that I peel it off the transfer tape. You just want to be careful that you don't go super fast, because if it picks a piece up, you might rip the stencil film. And if you haven't watched my previous video, the stencil film that I like to use is the Aura Mask stencil film 813. I have really good luck with it. Alright, so I'm going to do a really light coat of the polycrylic, which is the Minwax polycrylic. And I like to use just a little bit to seal my stencil so there's no leakage from the paint like seeping underneath the stencil. So we'll take a little break. Okay, so that's all done. You can take your finger and just kind of push the polycrylic around. It's actually kind of like water, and you can just kind of feel that it's all on the stencil, so then it's all there. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. And for this particular sign, I did use felt flowers, and I have cut them already on my my Cricut Maker, and I do use the rotary blade, and this is wool felt. I purchased my felt from a little shop on Etsy, and it's called Sweet Emma Jean, all one word. Sweet Emma Jean. She's amazing. So here are the ones that I have picked out, and my favorite pattern is, I'm not even sure what it's called, but the end result for these ends up looking like little rosebuds, and I do a couple of different sizes. So I'm just going to show you how I roll these really quick. It's so much easier than paper flowers because they don't really come unrolled. So you just pinch at the top part, the very beginning, and then you just kind of roll, roll, roll. Once I get about 1/4 of the way there, I will put a little dab of hot glue right on the bottom, so when you roll it, it'll stick there and it won't come undone. And I do use industrial strength hot glue. It is made by Stanley, I believe, and it sticks a ton. So, and I'm going to
setting up a video
like this, and then I just push it like that, so then it's all adhered. And voila, there is a red rosebud. Okay, so I'm going to pause it and not bore you while I roll the rest. Okay, so I have all of these rolled now. So they're all set and ready to go. And this is dry, so we can now apply the paint. I'm going to do white, and it's chalk paint I like to use. The Folk Art, that's the chalk paint that I prefer. Okay, so here we go. And I tend to dab at first, and then once I can gauge whether or not it's going to seep, which it's not. So now I just kind of brush off the excess, and then I'll just lightly take my brush, just like you would if you were painting, I don't know, like a wall or a picture. I don't push very hard either. I just kind of let the paint fill in the stencil. This one I'm probably going to do 2 coats. I normally don't. If I'm doing like a white background and black writing, but when I'm using a darker background, I do tend to do 2 coats. So we will wait for that to dry again, and I will quickly show you how I make the leaves. I have a couple of different leaves that I like to use. These ones here that look like this, I think they are on the Cricut. If you go to Felt Projects, I think it is, and there's a wreath sign that you can make. These leaves actually came from that. And there are some nice flowers on that one too. Okay, so for my leaves, I like to make them look a little bit more realistic. So I just put a little tiny bit of hot glue down the center, and then I pinch it just to kind of give it a little bit of a curl. That way it looks more natural and not flat. So it gives it this little, I don't know, like teacuppy kind of shape. And then I just hold it until it's dry. So that's what they end up looking like. I'm gonna do a second one, and I'll put them together and show you how they look. Okay, so let's do it again. So you just put the hot glue in the middle, and then just very carefully find where you want it to squeeze together there. And then just hold it until you're satisfied. Okay, so now I like to put them together. Sometimes I do single ones, but a lot of times I do 2. So you just put the hot glue on the side that you're gonna stick, and then squeeze them together. That way they look more realistic. Okay, so with these ones I kind of do the same thing, just not not as large as a space. I just kind of do like a little dab, and then I squeeze this guy just a little bit. So that one doesn't curl all the way up to the top, but it does give it like a more realistic shape. So then it's not completely flat, and it just doesn't look completely fake. Please excuse my kids in the background. They are playing. It is Easter, so happy Easter. Okay. Okay, so I do the same thing with these. I put a little tiny dab. That was a little bit bigger than I wanted, but that's okay. And then we'll just squeeze these guys together, just like with the other one. And then you get a more realistic leaf. Okay, I'm gonna pause you again while I make some more. Okay, so I got the leaves all set and ready to go. So what we're gonna do, I put my second coat on here. We're gonna pull this while it's still wet. Fingers crossed, right? And you just pull slowly and carefully. Sometimes I trim away the excess from the top so it doesn't drag down the wood. So that way no wetness gets through onto the other pieces. All right, there we go. Kind of like that. Just want to grab both sides. And it's okay if you leave a little behind, like it's actually doing right now. Okay, let's get it all the way over. Thank you. All right, put the excess over there. I'll pull this side a little bit carefully. And you can kind of feel where it's going to pull easy and where it's going to stay. You just want to be careful. Okay. So now this part, just be careful. And then the S is there a little bit. So then I'm going to actually let this dry completely now before I take the insides of the letters out. But there is what it looks like so far without the letters taken out. So actually right now while we're waiting for that to dry, we can put the flowers on. And placement with these, I do tend to place them first before I hot glue them down, just to see what they will look like on there. This one I thought like bold colors would look really pretty. It's kind of springy and summery, like a rainbow. Okay, and so probably gonna do something like that. And then I take my little leaves just to kind of see and gauge where they will look the best before I adhere them. And you just kind of fill in the negative space in a balanced way. Like that. So now we can put them down. And for that, I really just use a pretty generous amount of the hot glue on there. And I just push it down on my sign. Just like that. A generous amount. And push it down. Okay, we're going to pause again so you guys don't have to watch me do that over and over. Okay, so I adhered all of the flowers and leaves. As you can see, nice on there. And it gets on that nice little curl. So I've already started to peel out the insides of my letters. And I like to use the Cricut razor X-Acto knife thingamajig to get them out. I don't know, I just feel like the this method is easier than trying to do it with the little weeding tool. So just carefully lift up on it, and then when you can grab it, carefully just grab it. Okay, so then I only have the O left. which is tiny. Oh, I can't get it out. Come on, you little booger. There we go. Okay. And then just the big part of the O is all we have left. And it's coming very easily. Okay, so voila. There is your home is where mom is sign with felt flowers. Now, when this dries, I will put a spray over this. It's like a poly acrylic spray, and then it's matte finish. I just do a little bit just to seal the chalk paint, because chalk paint, if you rub the regular sealer over the chalk paint, it will smear. So you want to make sure that you seal it before you seal it. So sealing twice, actually. Also, for these, I do give the option of jute rope with 2 small holes and then just a decorative rope to hang, or the regular picture hanger. So there it is. And hopefully it was easy. Happy Easter, everyone.